Prof, thank you very much for making the time to talk to us so early in the morning. Let me start with, before all of the chaos that we're seeing on the streets, what is it that the CRL Rights Commission does on a daily basis to basically promote unity, peace, and cohesion that you say your organization is tasked with, among other issues?
The Commission, mandated by the Constitution and its Act, is mandated to promote and develop peace, friendship, humanity, tolerance among all religious and cultural and linguistic institutions on the basis of equality and freedom of association. Now, every day of our engagement is to make sure that we develop these programs to communities. For example, we have the department called Public Engagement. And this department is tasked with ensuring that it goes to communities, all the 9 provinces, because we don't have offices. We engage with communities on issues of how to keep these values alive. Because part of our contribution is really to ensure that we have a social cohesion, we have communities that understand each other, they can live side by side. Because unless we do that, South Africa, with its diversity, will not experience the ultimate vision of a united country or a nationhood, as it were. So other than this department, there are other departments that are responsible for different things. But our key commitment is the public education, because it is in public education.
Is that public education, Prof, working effectively in your view when you see images like this on our streets?
It does work, but remember that we do not have the resources enough to reach everybody.
How much is allocated to the Commission?
I think it's 42, 49 million.
And that's not enough?
That's not enough. Half of that goes into salaries and structures of the institution. So, but remember, if you want to create a movement of people with values that are really cohesive, you have to have people who are everywhere. For example, we are also empowered to come up with community councils. Community councils would be those kinds of communities that are continue to propagate the values of CRL.
Those community councils, do they exist, or do
we
they
do
don't
have
exist?
them, but they're not resourced to be able to do this. Okay?
Prof, let me hurry us along and ask you this question. Some say that what we are seeing on South African streets today is as a direct consequence of governance and economic failure. Who's to blame?
Well, from the perspective of CRL, is that we deal with the communities, as it were, their rights, develop their rights, protect their rights, empower them to be able to defend their own rights. Yes, the problem is 3-tiered. One is the issue of governance. Another is the issue of the economy, the scramble for the economy. And some people would look at this as a xenophobia. When you have people in small area and the resources are marginal, there are bound to be conflicts. So in a sense, what we are trying to do is that despite all of this, we have a common humanity to develop.
You're not telling me who's to blame, Prof. We have a leadership in this country that has failed to implement policies that we are told are super, but implementation is a problem.
You see, I don't deal with that aspect. What we deal with is that we deal with collaborative efforts. For example, when we have issues or cases that we deal with, we refer them, for example, to SAPS, to human rights, and other collaborative institutions. That's where our mandate lies. What happens for ourselves is to monitor and see that some of these things actually get implemented. There are problems with that as well, where we defer matters, but they're not implemented. There is a sense in which implementation is a problem, because we suffer what we call the paralysis of analysis. We have more information but less activity to solve those type of problems that we have.
Prof, let's leave it there. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Professor David Masoma, he is with the CRL Rights Commission.